Welcome to Soma Dao Qigong. My name is Dr. Michael Smith, and in this video I'm going to share with you the 3 phases to the online Qigong teacher training program that I offer. The first phase is a 200-hour 1 to 2 year program. The second phase is a 350-hour 2 to 3 year program. And the third phase is a full 500-hour 3 to 5 year training. Now, if you've done the first 200 hours, that adds to the 350. If you've done all 350, that becomes a part of your 500. So it's an accumulative process. Before I get into more details with those 3 phases, I just want to walk you through the 10 levels of the Qigong training that I offer, just to give you a sense of what's actually included. Level 1 is focused on the fundamentals of movement, posture, and breath. In that first level, we focus on stretching, strengthening, and opening every joint in your body and every vertebrae in your spine. We also focus on the fundamentals of breath work and self-regulation and what is called the relaxation response. We learn some fundamental stretching in the sense of floor work and getting really deep and long into your stretching, kind of like yoga. In this first phase, we're focused not only on becoming very familiar with your embodied and physical sense of life, but we also want to begin learning about the subtle energies of life as well. Level 2 is all about traditional Qigong forms. Now, if you're new to Qigong, forms are basically choreographed routines that can go anywhere from 2 to 3 minutes up to about 45 minutes. The traditional Qigong forms we're going to learn in Level 2 are what is called the Baduanjin, or the 8 pieces of brocade, which is one of the most famous forms in Qigong in the world. And another form that is called the Tiandi Heifa, or the balancing of the energies of heaven and earth. And that introduces people, again, more deeply into the energetic relationship that you can find in Qigong practice. We're also going to learn a little bit about free-form Tai Chi and advance our skills with breathwork. Level 3 is focused on deep, refined stillness and precise coordination. And we're going to learn these through seated and standing meditation, which is a very deep dive into your posture and your biomechanics, as well as something called silk reeling or San Si Jin, which is a way that is often taught in martial arts, especially Tai Chi and what are called the internal arts, on how to basically connect all of the rotations and all of the extensions and contractions in your body from the end of your fingers to the tip of your toes. And that typically helps people who are involved in sports and dance and other kinds of movement, because it really will help you with your coordination. Level 4 focuses on therapeutic movement and shamanic healing. The therapeutic movements we're going to learn are called the Liangong Shiba Fa, which is a very famous healing routine in China, and it's used to help people who are recovering from a stroke or a bad car accident or even from a coma. It teaches you to rewire your movements from the inside out. On the shamanic level of healing, we're going to learn a practice called Tai Li Fa, or the great or vast regulation or return to nature. And it's a form of embodied connection with the seasons and the weather, and also a form of embodied reunion with the universe and a kind of personal prayer. We'll also begin to learn a bit about energetic self-massage and some of the more subtle aspects of breath work to change your state of being in a pretty fundamental way so that you can learn skills like visionary experiencing and wakeful dreaming. Level 5 is focused on Shaolin Temple Qigong. If you've never heard of the Shaolin monks, they're actually world famous for their feats of strength and flexibility and endurance. And although we're not going to focus so much on that in the Qigong training, we are going to learn a process called Yi Jinqing, or the muscle tendon change, or a way of reaching through and connecting through your muscles, nerves, and bones, and especially a part of your body called fascia. If you can reorganize all of the connective tissue in your body to a much more coordinated and relaxed way of moving, you're going to find yourself increasing your dexterity, your strength, and your speed if you are a martial artist or an athlete. But also it's going to help you develop a kind of internal hormonal and energetic status that helps people live long, healthy lives and keep their longevity into their elder years. We're also going to focus in Level 5 on a practice called bone marrow washing, or cleansing, which again comes from the Shaolin Temple, and is a way of recharging the aliveness or the energy that's within your bone marrow. It's a bit subtle and maybe also a bit esoteric, but it has profound results, especially with people who are trying to become more fertile. Level 6 focuses on opening up your energy centers, what we call your energy gates of movement, and also your meridians. You don't have to be a Chinese doctor to learn that kind of Qigong, but it does help to know a lot about things like meridians, and we'll learn a bit about that in that course. We're also going to learn an ancient Taoist practice called the willow dance, which is a way of being kind of spontaneous in your movement to very fluidly and gracefully open up the fascia that actually connects all of your meridians on the inside of your body. It's a very gradual process, and it is very good for people who are focused on longevity and self-healing. Level 7 is a course, a university-level course on preventative medicine. In Chinese medicine, we call this Yang Shen Fa, or cultivating and nourishing your vitality. This is a course that all Chinese doctors have to learn, so if you're a Qigong teacher and you have a basic first-year understanding of Chinese medicine, that'll give you a lot more to teach, and it will actually make you a much safer and more skillful teacher as well. In Level 7, you'll also be learning about some basics of functional and integrative medicine. So as a Qigong teacher, you can offer very specific guidance to your students. Level 8 gets into some more esoteric and advanced Taoist and Shaolin Qigong. We'll be learning what is called the Shaolin Gong, which is an internal cleansing and purification process that people often do in monasteries in Asia. And we'll also be learning some of the Taoist shamanic practices that have to do with balancing the energies of the seasons, the natural world, and even the weather. I always like to remind people that Qigong comes from the indigenous people of Asia, and some of the Qigong practices are actually resourced or rooted in that perception of the world and that connection with nature. And they're also a lot of fun to play with, especially on a winter solstice or a fall or a spring equinox. Level 9 will focus on the wisdom teachings of both traditional Taoism and Buddhism, as well as some of the indigenous traditional teachings that I've learned in my life. This is not about religion. It's about respecting how some of the earlier and more ancient cultures in the world looked at the world, and those are the cultures that, in a way, invented Qigong. So by looking at how they saw themselves in the world, you may find a deeper way of feeling into your Qigong practice by at least understanding the worldview of the people who developed this form of therapeutic exercise and spiritual practice. We'll also be dipping into a little bit of the modern quantum physics and other perspectives that we have in the modern world that are actually a good mirror of some of the most ancient traditions that still exist in the world today. Level 10 is all about hands-on healing. If you're a person who is a healer or a clinician and you want to learn more about what people call energy medicine, this is the thing you want to focus on, but you need to do all the other training to make sure that that's safe. Hands-on healing is literally about putting your hands on people and working on a very subtle level with natural energetic phenomena with a person's connective tissue and also their meridians to reorient your body and return it to its natural birthright of vitality. This is a level 10 course. It's the highest level that I'm willing to teach publicly, and I find it fairly effective for people who are, say, a massage therapist who wants to do something else with their hands that can also help people heal in a very profound way. So the phase 1 of the Soma Dao Qigong process that I teach is, again, 200 hours. You could do it in a year or two if you like. It involves that first 3 levels where you're focusing on the fundamentals of movement, posture, and breath, understanding stillness and precise movement, and learning enough about the traditional forms of Qigong. So if you became a Qigong teacher and that was all you knew, you could very easily teach 2 or 3 different classes at a yoga studio or a recreation center to be an introductory level Qigong teacher. And that's not that hard to do. And again, it just takes about a year or two and a daily practice to make sure that you're doing it well. The phase 2 is to be certified as a Qigong for vitality, longevity, and fertility instructor. So again, as a teacher, if you're doing regular classes or you're doing weekend workshops, you'll have the information that you need to help people improve their vitality in very specific ways or improve their longevity, and specifically help people who are having problems with fertility. And in today's world, that's a pretty common thing. So imagine that you've learned everything in phase 1, plus learning things like the therapeutic healing practices and shamanic healing practices that come from Qigong and from Taoism. You'll also be able to help people with fundamental restabilization and overall tonus and function of their core, their joints, their spine, their hips, and their back and their neck. So it's not that you're a physiotherapist, but you're definitely going to be able to help people who are recovering from injuries or any other kind of damage to their body in pretty specific ways. And in phase 2, you'll be learning that Yang Sheng Fa, that preventative medicine that combines both some Chinese medicine understanding and some modern integrative medicine understanding. So as a Qigong teacher, you could very easily do a lot of weekend workshops and a lot of classes that again cover everything around vitality, longevity, and fertility. Phase 3 of the Qigong training is to become a professionally certified Qigong teacher, and this takes 500 hours and about 3, 4, maybe even 5 years. This covers everything you would have learned in phase 1 and 2. It includes the teachings from the Taoist, Buddhist, and indigenous wisdom teachings, which gives you, I think, a pretty grounded sense of the philosophies of the world and the approaches that people have to the more esoteric or existential aspects of their life. And the final level and the final thing you're going to learn in phase 3 is that hands-on healing practice, which has been around for, I think, as long as people have been putting their hands on each other. It's a very deep level of training, and it should help you as a Qigong teacher offer more courses in things like hands-on healing. But more importantly, as a Qigong teacher, it may help you, with your students and with other people, and you may even choose to begin practicing as a medical Qigong healer. Now that depends on the licensing in your province or state. But many people with 5 years of experience in Qigong and specific training in Chinese medicine and hands-on healing as a practice often decide to help people with anything from the common cold to cancer and from a torn ligament, because these things are proven by science to make a huge difference in people's lives and the rate at which people's bodies heal. So if you're interested in the Soma Dao Qigong approach, I encourage you to click the link below and check out the courses that I offer. If you have a specific question, you can contact me through email, or there's a Soma Dao Qigong training page on Facebook. You can just send me a question through there. Thanks for watching. I hope this gives you some insight into the practice of Qigong and what's available today in the sense of Qigong training. And the next video will be on moving through life's hurdles with Qigong. Thanks again for watching, and have a great day.